This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Back. There we are. There he is, the man, the myth, the legend. That is Omar Kelly. Oh, how you doing, my man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Very good. Very good. I don't know if you heard leading into you.
I did.
Yeah, the Raiders are they're an interesting bunch, right? Because they've always had characters as players.
They're renegades, pioneers,
right?
Change makers. And they'll always continue to be that. That's in the bloodlines of that franchise.
But it's pretty cool because, you know, think about it.
Not pretty cool. It's amazing.
In a league that isn't very inclusive, Jesus Christ, dude. Like, they are the trendsetters. You know what I mean? I give Stephen Ross a lot of credit because compared to the rest of the league, he is also a very inclusive person too in his organization. But that's now. I'm talking the Raiders. This shit's been going on since the 60s.
This is their second female executive.
Right. But it's a Latin coach. It's a black coach. You know, they hired
absolutely. I would say only the Steelers are in the neighborhood of groundbreaking, pioneering, change creating. Yes. And I give Steve Ross all the respect that he deserves because he really makes an effort. And I can tell you, I started covering the team in 2007, and before it was even popular to make a push for women to be part of organizations, NFL organizations, and be part of NFL staffs and be part of the equipment team and be part of the training staff. Steve Ross was way ahead of the curve and was a pioneer, and women just popped up everywhere in that organization before it was popular. And not a lot of people will acknowledge this now because there's a lot of shame associated with it, especially in this cancel culture. But when Donna Ponte was running the business side of the organization, people consistently threw stones at the organization, laughed at them, mocked them for Donna Ponte's role in the organization. Now, you know, everybody can't find a qualified woman fast enough.
Yeah, no, you're right about that, and that was the Donna Ponte. You know, the problem with the Donna Ponte thing was that she came in an era, and it's not her fault. It was just so dysfunctional. And he was part.
I don't know if I would say it's not her fault because she played a nice, significant role in it.
I get that, but what I'm saying is she joined in, and so she joined in a time that there wasn't balance in the organization. So she went to a place that was dysfunctional, and she then joined in on the dysfunction. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
that's fair. She contributed to the dysfunction as well. Donna Ponte is not innocent. Her hands are not clean. So there are a lot of things that I hope that she learned and changed during that era because she was very cold and not personable, and I don't think that works primarily in this market.
No, you're right about that. I mean, I remember there was a very famous meme that was kind of floating around with Joe Philbin and Donna Ponte. Do you remember that meme?
No, I don't. I don't have a clue what you're talking about, to be honest.
You have no idea? Well, here on the show, we are on top of it all the time, right? So Sean, the great Sean Stanley, is going to bring up it was one of those memes that was floating around with Donna Ponte and Joe Philbin that it was entertaining. I'm surprised you never saw it.
No, I've never seen that, to be honest.
You don't remember it or anything, huh?
No.
Then here you go.
Never seen. What's the? I can't. It's so small. I can't really see. What's the gist of it? Oh, friends with Ben. Okay, all right. No, they were not.
I know they weren't. It's just it was.
Yeah, that was a really dysfunctional era. That was a really dysfunctional era. And I couldn't even begin to start with what was wrong with the organization back then.
I just love how Sean is focusing it.
Yeah. I mean, I've covered a lot. Like, if I ranked the dysfunctional eras.
Oh God.
I mean, think about it. I've dealt with and covered a lot.
Well, most of it, because you've covered.
But you know what was not fair about that team?
You've covered the shit part of the Dolphins. Actually, unfortunately, that's the thing. You didn't even get to cover Jason and Zach in those years. Instead,
yes,
right after that, which is
in defense of that era, that season. When I think about that season, I think about Bullygate.
Right.
And they were having a pretty decent season right up until Bullygate like sideswiped them like an 18-wheeler. And after that, it was just like, oh my God, how do we even like maintain, sustain, survive? And, you know, they even managed, I believe, to stay in the playoff mix up until like the final period or season or week. I think some Buffalo loss, as all Buffalo losses usually do, just spoiled or ended their season traumatically. But yeah, man. And imagine, and that season was so painful. Imagine CNN being in your locker room for a good month.
Oh God.
CNN and all those news outlets, and you know, it's just woo!
We had Jimmy and Danny and Jimmy, and that was dysfunctional, obviously. Because
hold on, wait a minute. Jimmy and Danny and Jimmy. Okay, because of the dysfunctional relationship between Danny and Jimmy.
Right, Jimmy Johnson and Dan Marino was dysfunctional, bro. Come on,
okay,
I wanted to get rid of him, and then I can't get rid of him. Well, I'll take away your Irving, and I'll take away your Byers, and I'll take away your Kirby, and I'll take away your audibles, and it was like like a shit show. But that was dysfunctional. Then we had the Wani Spielman dysfunction. Right?
They just made bad decisions. I don't know if they were dysfunctional.
Oh no, there was a fight over power. Remember that?
Yes, there's always a fight over power. There will always be a fight over power.
Wannstedt stole the power back from him in that final year, and then got him, and then that got himself fired after that. And then Spielman went off to Minnesota after that. But my point is that was also a dysfunction. Now, is it as bad as like Bullygate or all that? No, of course not. But I mean, it was different dysfunctions during that time.
Saban wasn't dysfunction. His exit was just a little bit.
No. His wasn't a dysfunction at all. It was just
Cameron was dysfunctional. Who? The early period of Parcells was not dysfunctional. Then
it was after.
Then when he left, because he was just like, I can't deal with this no more. I don't want to.
The Jeff Ireland stuff obviously made it.
The Jeff Ireland was dysfunctional era.
Because it was Jeff Ireland and Sperano dysfunction. Then we had the Ireland Philbin dysfunction, right? And then we moved on to the Cam Cameron dysfunction.
No. That we had Cam Cameron before that.
Before. Okay, we had the Cam Cameron.
We had the Philbin Ireland dysfunction. Then we had Dennis Hickey come in, try to clean it up. Then Tannenbaum shanks Dennis Hickey for his job,
right,
and fires him a year later.
Which Dennis Hickey did not do a bad job. I don't want Dennis Hickey getting trashed. He did a good job.
And then Donna Ponte was in the Ireland era, and then Tannenbaum pushed a Ponte out.
Yeah.
And now where are we at now? Tannenbaum gets shanked.
Right.
Tannenbaum hires Gase. Gase and Tannenbaum have power struggle. Tannenbaum gets shanked. Gase gets whacked. Flores-Greer gets elevated. He's like the guy holding the bag. And Flores-Greer hires.
And now we have the flow dysfunction. Yes.
Flow and the organization go to war for apparently 2 years. And here we are.
Yeah. Here we are. So now we're hoping
2 decades of mediocrity.
We're hoping the dysfunction train is done and they can move forward. That's the one thing I will say, that it does look like for the first time, like everything's on the same page, at least. Kind of looks like it. So we'll see. No, it does.
Bro, when I see it, I'll believe it, because I've heard so much of that.
It's whatever you hear is one thing. What you're seeing right now.
Bro, we ain't seen nothing. They haven't played a game. They haven't kicked off anything. They haven't put on pads. Stop.
When have you ever seen? No. Wait a minute. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me. When have you seen the general manager and the head coach get along the way they get along? Tell me that it does not look good right now. Never. I've never seen that. I haven't seen I have never seen that
all the time on the surface level, all the time, because you're only looking at the surface level. All the time.
No. I'm certainly not looking only at the surface level.
We didn't know there was a Greer Flores problem until Deshaun Watson.
No. You didn't know.
Okay.
I knew. Because I'm the one that told you all year long he's running roughshod.
In a year, and I said when Deshaun Watson surfaced. So in 2019, you didn't know. In 2020, you didn't know. Then all of a sudden, 2021, there's so much dysfunction, so much issues, blah, 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 blah. There's always going to be a power struggle. There's always going to be a crisis that needs to be put out. There's always going to be an era of, it's not my fault, it's his fault. It's the finger pointing.
I understand that, but I've never seen this kind of a relationship from the get-go.
Bro, we haven't seen them kick off. When they kick off a football,
I get that. I get
a game that matters.
I get
then we
that.
could judge.
I get that, but everything else has kind of been always kind of an eggshell type of situation.
Oh my God.
I've never seen this kind of camaraderie.
It's always harmony. I can show you pictures in the Sun Sentinel system of Chris Greer and Brian Flores talking.
Not Chris. No, I'm talking about before. Listen, with Chris Greer, if you can't get along with Chris Greer, then I know you have a problem. It's not Chris Greer. I know you have.
That is correct. I will testify to that. If you can't get along with Chris Greer, you are the problem.
Right. I'm talking about prior to Chris Greer. I'm talking about all this other messes in the past.
It's always
the Jimmy and Danny thing did not start off on the right foot. The Danny and Wanstead thing did not start off on the right foot. The Wanstead and Spielman thing was always kind of an uneasy thing because one guy's trying to be a personnel guy and the coach was trying to meddle in. And so we always had dysfunction.
When is that not the case?
You know what? I'll give you props on this one. The Cam Cameron, Randy Mueller crap did start off like all with roses and everything and all that.
They always start off.
No. Saban and Mueller did not start off that way, my brother. Because Mueller was like, okay, coach, I've got all the draft reports. Oh, great. That's nice, Randy. Here's my draft reports. Bam. No, it did not start off that way, my brother. Okay, so I disagree with you. Most of the time it hasn't. I'll agree with you on the one that I just gave you because that one was so fresh. There was no stains from the other ones. Notice what I keep telling you. It was one rollover from another rollover from another rollover. So it was human Django. And it never started off well because there was always that uneasiness right from the get-go.
When you keep having or entering or fostering in toxic relationships, at some point, you have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, it's me. I need to change. And if the Dolphins haven't gotten to that point yet, God help them. Because
if it continues, it's because it happens at the top. Because the owner allows it. The owner allows it to happen because it doesn't happen with the Miami Heat. It just doesn't happen.
That's different. Name an organization in the NFL that operates like the Miami Heat.
Oh, the Patriots.
Man, screw them.
It's one way, and then that's it. The Steelers.
Screw them. Their Tom Brady made.
The Steelers. Rooney's.
All right, I'll accept that. I will not accept the Patriots. That's bullcrap.
It is Belichick's way or the highway, bro.
I just did a ranking, finally, just for you, of my NFL offseason. I don't even know if it's up on the Sunset Note now.
I'll look for it.
I started with the AFC. And, yes, it is. Which teams in the AFC had the best offseason? You know, I don't want to disclose where I have the Miami Dolphins.
You better have them at the top, bitch.
But the Patriots, they had the worst offseason in the AFC.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, they didn't even hire an offensive coordinator. Bro. I can't wait to see this shit show this year. I can't wait to see this, dude.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
I have them dead last in the AFC and might be in the NFL.
You're very fair to the Patriots. I bet you were unfair to the goddamn Dolphins, but I bet you were fair to the Patriots.
Listen, I only have a couple of teams ahead of the Miami Dolphins in terms of where they finish. And I put out a tweet which was for you. Okay? When I did this ranking, in the back of my mind, I kept thinking about Big O. Big O's gonna get on me. Big O's gonna get on me. And then, so what I said to myself when I did this rankings, I said, here's how I'm going to stack them up. One, the barometer is, did I make myself a Super Bowl contender this offseason? That's the barometer, okay? Or did I keep myself a Super Bowl contender? That's the bar. And then, when I sat there and ranked teams up that were in the same neighborhood, the question I asked myself was, can you whoop me? Do you remember that when you were growing up? Can you whoop me? Like if you got beef with somebody, can you whoop me? And the bottom line is, if you can whoop me, then you come bring it. So I had to put the Miami Dolphins below the Buffalo Bills because of this.
I'm looking at it now.
Because of this simple question, can you whoop me? If the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins squared off right now, Josh Allen would walk up into his face and say, can you whoop me? What you going to do?
So if the Dolphins beat the Bills, your ranking sucks.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
And they don't even have to
make sure of that. I just want to make sure.
They don't have, I think the Bills with the biggest loss is Dable. And that's a huge loss. I'm a huge Dable fan. You know that. I think I'm curious to see what he's going to do with Daniel Jones, but I'm a big Dable fan. I would argue to anybody anybody who knows the Miami Dolphins has covered the Miami Dolphins. Dable's Dolphins in 2011 had the potential to be the best offense that this organization's had since I covered them. Now, they had a slow start. They had to change a quarterback. But when they got going, they got going.
Right.
But Chan Gailey's team of 2020 was the best. But right under them,
but judging an offseason really has nothing to do with whether you can beat a team or not. It's really judging on how much you improved from one year to the next.
Yes, and I think they did. They had two key losses.
You have to think that they added more than the Bills did. Are they better than the Bills? Of course not. We know the Bills are the class of the division.
But here's the thing. I think the Bills are probably one of 4 teams that put themselves or kept themselves in championship contender status.
Cool. Yes.
Whereas the Dolphins put themselves in the playoff neighborhood.
Yes, I agree.
And only the homerest of homers, the diehardest of diehards, would say in delusion land that this Dolphins team is a Super Bowl contender. Now,
clearly they're a Super Bowl contender. Come on, of course. You'll be covering the Dolphins in Arizona in February. What's wrong with you? Of course.
Could they be? Absolutely. Because if they have a top 5 rushing attack and a top 5 defense, and Tua stays healthy for an entire season, and Tariq is Tariq, yeah, they can make it to the Super Bowl. And
be nice.
And so it's possible, which is why they're ranked high. But I can't put them in the title contender conversation. Not yet. Not just yet.
All right. Don't forget, folks, EJD Construction. If you're looking for custom home construction, you got to call the great people at EJD Construction, 305-433-4843. Custom home construction, major home remodeling, fully insured, $2 million, $1 million workers' comp. Do not hire anybody that is not insured to work in your home. They know the laws better than you do. If they get injured in your home while they're trying to repair it, they can sue you. So make sure you hire companies that are responsible. No, seriously. I mean, you got companies that are picking up 3 or 4 guys at Home Depot and then showing up at your house.
Well,
that's not the company you want to hire.
I had a renovation and a guy fell off my roof.
Yeah, well, and if they're not insured, you're screwed. So make sure you call EJD Construction, or if you don't call EJD Construction, make sure you call somebody incredibly responsible, and they will save you a lot of money. Listen, quality work, affordability, shell construction in-house. That's how they keep their costs down. Tell them that Big O sent you. You want to remodel that kitchen. You want to add an addition to the home, a second floor. You call EJD Construction.
Addition to the way to go now.
Yeah, that's right. 305.
Damn expensive.
That's right. 305-433-4843. Follow Omar on Twitter at Omar Kelly, and make sure you subscribe to the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Always, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for taking some time, and enjoy the weekend, my friend.
All right.
Got it. There you go. The great Omar Kelly and our EJDconstruction.com Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.